All right, everybody, welcome to our class for today. Thank you so much for joining us. It is such a beautiful evening. I would like to start by apologizing for what happened last time. So I'm going to do a quick recap of what we learned last time. As you can see here is our LMMS. For those ones who are joining us for the first time, this is Linux Multimedia Studio. I'll not take you through the history because I believe you have read your notes, the ones we sent. So straight away, let me go and pick up from where we started. So we said earlier on that Linux Multimedia Studio, it has panels, what we call panels, or windows. You can call it windows, and what you can see on the screen is the main panel or the main windows, and it has very many functions, and some functions are named, for example, file, edit, view, tools, help, and so on. Those ones are named, and we also have these icons, but each and every time you bring the cursor on top of it, it is like the name is always written under it. Yeah, the process of bringing the mouse on top of it, if you read through the notes, we call it hovering. So when I use that term, please don't get lost. So whenever you hover the mouse on top of an icon, it will bring you the name. For example, the first one, if we hover it, we see create new project. The second one, we see create new project from templates. Then you can see like that. So all these are the functions or the different tools or two icons that we have on our main panel or main window. Now, forget about, let's skip this first line, this first one that you can see. Let us go to the second one. Now, this second one is for the different windows or different other panels that are on LMMS. For example, the first one here, it is what we call the song editor. When we click on it, it opens the window for song editor. This song editor, it's always detached. You can move it anywhere you want. You can even maximize it so that it covers the whole screen, or minimize it and it covers a particular part of the screen. You can put it wherever you want, but by default, when you click, it always opens at this angle. The second one is what we call the beat or baseline editor. It's over here. We can click, drag it, and pull it anywhere we want. Another one is what we call the piano roll, and it's also here. We can click it and drag it and so on. Another one, we have what we call the automation editor. It's just another window. We can also open it. We can also open the mixer or the FX mixer. We can open it. So we realize we can open very many windows, but we can close it. Remember, if you're working on a project and you close the window, it does not delete the project, or it just simply closes the window, but your project will still be there. So those ones who are joining us for the first time, I hope you've got something from there. So last time we were looking at the beat or baseline window, and we said for us to make good music, one thing we need to know is what identifies or what signifies a certain or particular type of music is what we call the tempo. The tempo is the rate at which the beats keep banging per minute. In other words, it is the number of beats per minute. And as you can see in this green writing, in this box where there is green writing of 140, it means there will be 140 beats per minute. So we always define the tempo for the music or the song that we're going to make. For example, in our last class, we were trying to make the beats of a dancehall, and so we said we changed the tempo to around 98 something there. Yeah, the dancehall beats are always around that tempo. So what if you want to change the tempo? Just double click in the box of 140, and it opens you this new window. So let us just delete this one and type there. I would say 98. You can write 96 depending on what you want, or 100. Assuming you want to make such type of music, then you'll just go ahead and hit OK. So that will be the tempo. All these things I will introduce to you later on as we go on, but for now let us make some beats. So what we are going to do is, since we're making a beat, you open the window for beat stroke baseline, or beat plus baseline editor. So it's the second one here. I'll just click on it and it will open for me here. Now when we open it, we realize we have only one instrument, and that is the kicker. Remember, the beats, we make it out of drums, or what we call percussions. Those instruments, now we bang them and it brings that unique sound. So we're going to make our beats from them. So let us look for more instruments. People who play jazz drums, I believe you know the components of a jazz drum. We have the hi-hats, we have the shakers, we have the snare drums, we have the bass drum, those kickers, and so on and so forth. So let us look for all these drum tools or drum kits, and we bring them on the beat or bassline editor so that we start making our beats. So on the sidebar here, we have several icons. The first one is for plugins, instrument plugins. We shall look at that later. The second one is for projects. It's written my projects. The next one is my samples, and so on and so forth. You can check them out. But if you want to look for those different instruments, you come to my samples. Let me repeat, my samples. It's this one here. Yeah, you can just click it and it will open. When it opens, it brings you the different samples or the different instruments that we have. We have the basses, the bass loops, the beats, the drums, the drum synth, the effects, the gigs, etc. All this we shall be learning how to use them. Remember, our intention was to finish LMS this week, so that next week we go to FL Studio. The other week we look at Logic Pro, and the other one we go to mastering, where we shall be learning the most advanced software of mastering, that is Adobe Audition. And so that is what I wanted us to do. So let us move a little bit faster. So we are going to open one of these instruments. Since we are making beats, I would let us start with the drums. So just double click to open drums, and here there are the several drums that we have. You can take some sample. You can hear that's our drum. So we can look for the drum that we want. So let us pick a bass drum. That one is not good. I think that one works for me. So I'm going to pick bass drum 04. So bass drum 04, you can double click on it. When you double click on it, it just comes straight away to the beat and bassline editor. Or instead of double clicking on it, you can right click and you can click and all and then drag it to the beat and bassline editor, and you drop it there. So one of the two options will allow you to import your instrument and bring it on the beat stroke bassline editor. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are enjoying the class so far. So let's continue pushing on. That is now that we have imported our first okay, now we have two instruments, not one. One was already there. So let us create something just to guide us. Let's create a pattern. This one's, there are steps. According to LMMS, they're called steps. You can see, use mouse wheel to set the velocity of a step. So anyway, we are going to create a pattern. A pattern is that uniform repetition that we shall create, that these drums and the instruments will follow to give us that unique beat. So right now, let me just click on the first one. Once you click, it turns blue, you can see. So when you click on the first one, this is what happens. In other words, I'm playing it. You can click and then you come and click on this one here. Play. This is play. Please do that. You can play and see. So there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and also click this one and click this one, depending on the type of song you're making. Now remember, when you want to become a very good producer, you don't need to follow what people do. Be creative. So just create something and listen to it and try to adjust. Okay, but these people have marked it for us. We can see we always have the 4 black ones, 4 gray, 4 black, 4 gray, because that is the pattern that most of the songs, most of the Western songs, except cultural songs, all the Western songs, they follow that pattern. But cultural songs, my dear, it does not. So we are going to just do that. So let's try to play it. You can just click on the space button on your keyboard to play, or you can just click on this symbol here to play. Now that is what I have. Okay, you can hear it. It is not bad. So I can go ahead and also select this so that I can boost my bass drum. No, that sounds too much. So let me unselect them or deselect them. To deselect you again, you click on it. Please, those ones who have done production before, please don't confuse these softwares, because when we reach FL Studio, we shall click it in a different way. In FL Studio, when you want to deselect, you right click, but here you left click to select and left click to deselect. So it's the same thing. I just don't want you to get confused. Now let us go ahead and add some instruments. For example, let's add some. I don't want to start with the claps. Let's start with the hi-hats. Let's look for one we like. I think this one works best. So let's double click and it comes there. So let's select the first one and see. And let's try the second one also, and that one. So I think that one works. So I'm just going to go ahead and select one, skip one, select one, skip one. So I think that is not a bad one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and add some things. For example, we add some snare drums. Remember, we're trying to make a dancehall. So let's try to use this one here, and you see. Let's try to select this third one. Just I'm imagining I'm also just like how one of you does not know anything. So let's try to select that one. I'm skipping through and select the fourth one. This is what I have. So I think that sounds like, yeah. So let me go ahead and select that one here. Now, people who know dancehalls, you can see it's almost coming. So let's just keep the pattern the way it is here. I skip 3, select 1, skip 2, select 1. So I'm going to count these black ones again. I will click the last one here and also this one here. Now, here we go. So you realize we are almost there. Like, yeah, it's like a real dancehall is coming, but we have used how many instruments? Only 3 so far. We can go ahead and add more and more. Now, for those ones who missed our class last time, that is what we were learning. So you can go ahead and look for other instruments. For example, now we shall learn other things. Sorry, that wasn't supposed to come. We shall learn other things, like how to create a loop or a drum loop. You know, when you're creating a beat loops, rather, when you create a beat, you have to loop it at a certain point. Maybe when you're changing from chorus to the verse, you need to create, you know, those loops. Yeah, so we're going to learn how to do that. But for now, let us do our main beat. Okay, so I want to add this one, you know. I think this one works for me. Let me see how I'm going to add it. All right, I can add it there. Now you see I'm on track almost, like it's coming slowly. Yeah, let me go ahead and look for some clubs. I think this one works. Let me add this clap. So I just want to loop it together with the bass drum. Let me put it here and see. Okay, that doesn't work well. Okay, let me put it also here. Here we go. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you can see, or you can listen, our beat is almost done. Like, it's coming. So let's go ahead and do something. You know, remember I said LMMS, it's a free or an open software. It's for free, it's not for sale. In other words, this is for free. So if it's for free, means it's not like it's the basic one. It's very basic. So it's very simple. If you cannot learn this, then learning others might be hard for you. The reason why we have started with it is you should learn this first because it's the simplest. So don't expect us to make something too good, but we can make something good from here. So let's go ahead and play it and continue adding some stuffs. So I'm just looking for, hey, now this one is nice, but why didn't I get it at first? So I can add it just to make sure I have enough bass drum. So I can have this. Now you realize our beats, it has only 4 segments. This is the first 4, this is one segment, the next 4 another segment, like that. These steps that we are talking about, they're in groups of 4 4 4. So when we go back to our songwriter, when we are all songwriter window, when we are creating it, it will give us a time or before we know when to put the loop. So what we do, you can see these symbols of plus or minus or plus. When we click on plus, this is what happens. Sorry for that. Okay, let's take a short break and we come back. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. That was a short break. I was introducing you to a new thing. Let me undo that. I was talking about these segments, the group of four, 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 four. They are few, but if you click on plus, this is what happens. You realize we have more steps. So, the more steps we have, the more tiny it becomes. So, what to do? Let me maximize this on the all screen so that it is big enough for us. And now I will go ahead, all the patterns I'd created before, I will just go ahead and continue with it so that I have a longer pattern, there is something I want to introduce, that's why I'm saying let's continue with this. Just take your time and do that. Just click manually. You can copy and paste, but for now let's just do it manually so that we don't lose our patterns for those ones who are joining for the first time, and those ones who don't have any prior knowledge of music production. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are almost there. Okay, so let me just go ahead and hit this one also. All right, some people are here busy calling, but that should not interrupt our class for today. Please don't forget the pattern you've chosen. Just keep with it. So let's try to play it and see if it's the same one. So you realize it's moving uniformly up to the end. But why don't we create just a little loop, within there. For example, let's choose something like, and we can drop something like on the snare. So it's our snare drum. Our snare drum is here at the end here. Let's add something here and we listen. Okay, let's try here. I hope you've had that effect, the one I wanted. Let me repeat for you. Or let me remove this one and you listen to it carefully. Now, that is what I was talking about. We can do something like that. And let's try this. You see, we're just creating an alteration within. You can do something like that. Of your choice, the one you want. You see, we can choose any of those ones to add it to our beats. Now, this is a class and I want to minimize the length of the video, so I'm not going any further, but you can go ahead and add as many instruments as possible, but just make sure there are not too many. You can look for good ones. Now, by default, we were still looking at drums, so when we go and click on drums, we can close it. There are some other instruments we can still add here, but under drums, you can find as many instruments as possible. Now, there are things we call plugins. For those ones who have read the notes, we can go over the internet and download most of these instruments, the ones which are not here. For example, your cultural drums, they are not here, but we can go ahead and download them. After downloading them, we install them, or we just drag them and drop it here. It will automatically install, has new plugins, and we can use it here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully created our beats. Now, allow me to move slightly away from that. Now, that is what we learned last time. So today, let us go back to another window. So that is the beat baseline editor. Let's go to another window, and that is the song editor. Now, when you open the song editor, this is what you can see. But before we continue, allow us to take a short commercial break, and when we come, we shall definitely be looking at the song editor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the music production class brought to you by Agape Media. Thank you so much for following our classes. May God bless you. We meet shortly in our next video. Thank you.